What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Gifted Gamer 204 back at it again. And yes, you guessed right. Today, we got another banger for y'all, man. So if you're new to the channel, please don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share button as we keep on rolling right into today's video. Now, check this out. We have here a Thanksgiving special, man. So salute to everybody who've been rocking with me, supporting me. I appreciate y'all. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hope y'all enjoy this day with your families and loved ones. And we're gonna continue to grind, man. That's all we could do over here is continue to grind and continue to keep pushing the truth. Point blank, period. All right. So I wanted to start off this video, before we get to the main topic, just showing you this image right here. Just to remind everybody the greatness that PlayStation brings us. And people just seem to like look away from it as if they don't care, as if they don't know. PlayStation is the land of greatness. I mean, look at all these characters on your screen. And there's more. This is not even all of them. I'm pretty sure they missed a few. There's more than this. We're going back 30 years, people. 30 years of greatness. I mean, look at your screen. It's incredible. But anyways, we're going to get to the main topic of the video, right? Let's get straight into this. Let me fix this right here. All right, so here we are. Now, this is Red Gaming Tech, and this is what he had to say, okay? With confirmation from Sony, the PS2 hit 160 million consoles sold. It comfortably takes the lead as the best seller. But also, notice the key sales figures for the Switch, PS2, and PS4, question mark. The Switch, despite being on the market from 2017, still hasn't hit PS2 numbers. PS4 hit around 117 million. What this basically means is that there definitely seems to be a limit of how many people will buy a console. Over 100 million becomes rare. I think this could explain Sony pushing the handheld strategy for next gen, likely pushing more ports to PC, and Microsoft's decision to make everything an Xbox. Basically, a single console just can't increase sales beyond what we saw from PS2, really. And so total install base remains largely the same, and that's not good given the cost of games development. Okay, so that's what he had to say. Now, originally, I was in agreement with this. I was like, it's true what he's saying. He has a point, but just going through it, I had to read this over a couple times, and I'm gonna have to disagree. You see, there's only three major platforms that we have. It's only three: Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft. Now, Microsoft, being that they just don't know what the hell they're doing, it only leaves two. So this is where we at in today's world. It only leaves two consoles to continue to push the console, industry upward, because we can no longer rely on Microsoft. You see, the only reason he's basically saying this is because Microsoft didn't do what it was supposed to do, especially in this generation with the Series X, claiming it being the most powerful console, yet having to use the full potential of that console's power. We have yet to see it. Being that they came out with the Series X and S, a much cheaper version, trying to come out here and say, oh, this is for the people that can afford I understand the theory behind it, but that's where they messed up. You should have just came in one console, and we wouldn't be sitting here talking about 30 million lifetime sales in the last in these 4 years that the console's been out. 30 million. It's disgusting. I get it. You're going from 300 from the Series S to 500. I would have simply just said, listen, man, if you could afford $300, just keep on saving. Keep saving until you get to 500 and go get your Series X, and you're good to go. You will be getting the most powerful console on the market to date. That should have been, the pitch from the beginning, instead of trying to come out here and act all nice, like if you care. Oh, but we got one as well for the, low income. We got one for 300, and you're still gonna experience the same gaming. That's where they messed up, and that's one of the reasons we're sitting here today. And this guy is mentioning all of this. Now, let me just read through this real quick, because I need to point something out, right? He's talking about 100 million. I'm gonna start with the PlayStation. I mean, look at this. The original PlayStation, 101. The original. That was 1994. The 2, which it was, the pinnacle in 2000, 160. That's another 100 million. The 3, 87.4. And please keep in mind, this system came out with a market price of $600. And this was back in 2006. We sitting here in today's world in 2024 with the PS5 Pro at $700, just $100 more. And then we have Microsoft dishing out a Series X Sparkle Edition for $600, the same cost as the PlayStation 3. And this was back in this was nearly 20 years ago. So imagine that. Just imagine a $600 price point in 2006. So we could safely assume that if PlayStation was to come out with this console at $349, basically, or $399, let's say, is it safe to say that this number would have easily gone up to 100? I believe so. If with $600 it was able to reach 87 million, with a 350 price point or 399 even, it would have well crossed over 100 million. I believe it would have came up here where the PS4 is at. It would have been like around this range, 120, 117, 120. So let's assume that happened, right? So we're going to put this up on the 100 million. Now we cross over to PlayStation 4. This is sitting at 117 million. And this was in 2013. And keep in mind, this number could have easily kept going up if it wasn't for the presentation of the PlayStation 5. We could have, honestly speaking, we could have still been in the PS4 era right now, if you really think about it. So these numbers could have easily gone up way more than 117. And then we get to PS5, which is sitting at 65 million right now. Now, keep in mind, they came out and said that they're going to extend this generation to 10 years. Remember, these consoles are usually coming out every 6 years, right? It's like the average years that they come out with new consoles. It's every 6 years. They're not going to extend that 4 more years. So we're sitting at 65 right now. We're only 4 years in. We still have 6 more years to go with this generation. You don't think this is going to cross over 100 million? Or even get close to it, like 96, 97 million in 6 years? Come on, like we gotta be honest with this. And keep in mind, right? Let me show you something. You see the PS4 is at 117. Let's keep this in mind, because this report just came out that the PS5 sales are still trending 8% ahead of the PS4 in the USA. Look at this. Despite its higher price point and pandemic-induced stock shortages, given the challenges of the global economy, Sony will consider this a success. Think about it. He just mentioned it right there. Everything happening in today's world, everything. Just think about it. And the PS5 is still 8% ahead of the PS4's launch. So we're gonna sit here and actually think that it's not gonna cross over 100 million. We still got 6 more years to go. Now here's Xbox. It's a damn shame. This thing is a damn shame. I cannot believe people actually back up this company. The things people will do for money is absolutely unbelievable. I'll tell you that right now. I mean, Matt Piscatella confirmed the tidbit as part of a Q&A session on the Sales-Centric Install Base Forum, where he added the Xbox Series X and S is now tracking 11% behind the abysmal Xbox One in the USA. I mean, this is absolutely disgusting. It's disgusting. There's no other word to use for it. It's disgusting. This is crazy to me. This news is absolutely insane to me. And this is in the USA. This is Microsoft's biggest market. It's 11% behind. Can you imagine worldwide what this number could be? I don't even want to imagine that. I don't even want to imagine it. Oh, man, let me get back to this, man. Let me get back to this. So, with everything I just said, it's being 8% more, right? We could safely assume that it's going to cross over the 100 million mark. So this is why I'm not agreeing with this. He's trying to make it seem like the 160 is like the standard, like somebody should have been past this number already. But you got to keep in mind, man, like PS2 is considered arguably the greatest console of all time. And that's outside like of the sales. I'm just talking in general, like with the games and the era, you know, everything. Like it's considered one of the greatest of all time. So he needs to take that into consideration. Now, when there's like records, it's hard to break records. Like just think about the sports, the home run record with Barry Bonds and stuff. That record was held for a long time until he came and broke it. In basketball, there's records that Wilt Chamberlain has that nobody has still to this day have broken. It's just that type of level of greatness. And it applies the same thing over here. This is what we're seeing with the PlayStation 2. It's just that great. It's going to take something out of this world to come in and dethrone the PlayStation 2. But these companies need to be on their A game. That's what needs to happen. So it's not fair that he's trying to make it seem like the PlayStation 2, you know, the 160 million is the top of the line that, you know, we should be well crossing over this number like it's nothing. So that's not right. Look at the Nintendo Switch. I mean, this thing sold 146 million. That's close enough, if you're asking me. That's close enough. Now, we look at the 360. So that's the issue, right? That's the, you know, the history with PlayStation. So we could assume with the report that it's going to cross over the 100 million. Here we are with Nintendo. And let me get to this, right? Because from the Nintendo 64 came the Nintendo GameCube. And that came out, I believe it was in the year 2000. I believe so. And then from the GameCube, they crossed over to the Wii, which is what absolutely changed the entire gaming industry as we know it. But it just went over everybody's heads. And let me explain why. When they crossed over to the Wii, Nintendo at that point decided that they were going to take the gaming space somewhere else. This is when they introduced the motion sensor controllers with the the original Wii. That came with the Wii Sports and things like that. So they started with the camera. So they started targeting a different type of audience. They started going the whole family route, bring the family together and everybody can play with the motion sensor controllers. Now, from that moment, everything changed because now we have Xbox 360. Xbox 360, they finally struck gold with this system. So this is starting to make me think, was at this point they must have been seeing something behind the scenes with numbers or something that they were considering, after the 360 is done, where are we heading next? Do we look at the PlayStation route, which is the traditional console space, or do we take a more family approach like the Wii is doing? Do we honestly think that we can surpass PlayStation with our next console? We don't think so. So I feel like we need to start looking a different direction. So they started looking at the Wii and the success that the Wii was having, and they said, maybe we should take that approach. But instead of taking the way, the Wii looks at the families, we need to look at the modern, homes, which is, man comes home from work with the family at home. The kids go to bed and then it's you and the wife or whoever it is. You know what I'm saying? So when you're watching your favorite TV shows and things like that, you no longer gonna need a cable box. You can buy an Xbox One. This is our way of targeting the family, the casual family in America. Ditch that cable box, get yourself an Xbox, and you will have all your TV programming here, all in one box. And if you just so happen to get bored of watching TV, oh yeah, you can also just cross over and just start playing your video games. This is the approach Microsoft took. And I feel like they took that approach because of the success that they were seeing with the Wii. Now, with that being said, remember they had that presentation with the first 30 minutes of it, they didn't talk about one single video game. Not one. So that should already tell everybody that's it, that the gaming industry was going in a totally different direction. They no longer cared about the video game itself. And Nintendo either. They just wanted to make money off of the families, bringing us the Wii Sports games and all that stuff. They no longer took the traditional console route, and Xbox didn't either. They took a totally different route. They took a cable box target family route. They're no longer thinking about the standard console. Only PlayStation. When they come out with the 4, they kept their head down and they brought us to the PlayStation 4. More greatness. They said, nah, not us. We still about the games. This is what we about. We about greatness over here. So at this point that I just mentioned was the actual point where this gaming industry took a turn. Took the wrong turn, I should say. Because it changed everything. Now Xbox One flops. They start going crazy. They don't know what to do. Here comes Game Pass, and the rest is history. Now everything is an Xbox. So I want to show you something, right? Because Sony gets so much hate, right? And it's crazy to me how no one ever speaks about Nintendo in a negative way. And I started to ask myself, why? Why is that? I don't understand. It's like some secrecy going on in the gaming industry, as people call it, the gaming industry. This is a mess, by the way. In case y'all didn't know, right now the gaming industry is a complete mess, full of lies all across the board, with the exception of a few. But that's a story for another day. Nintendo doesn't get any type of heat. Keep in mind, Nintendo is a console. So it's in the console space, just like Microsoft, just like Sony's PlayStation. Now, when you hear people talking about PlayStation, all they do is remakes and remasters and this, that, and the third, and no one wants to speak on Nintendo because Nintendo makes all the money. But you know how Nintendo makes all their money? With remakes and remasters. That's the funniest thing I have ever come across. And I have yet to hear one person speak on this. Keep in mind that image that I had at the beginning of the video with all that greatness. You see how many different characters were on that screen? And there's more. That's not even the end of it. There's a lot more. Now, let me show you something right here. This is absolutely disgusting. It's crazy. Welcome to the land of remakes. This is all Nintendo puts out. If you didn't know. Zelda, a Mario Kart, a Splatoon, a Super Mario game, another Super Mario game, another Super Mario game, Animal Crossing, which was a complete smash for them, another Super Mario game, another Super Mario game, okay, another Splatoon, another Zelda game, another Super Mario game, another Zelda game, another Mario game versus Donkey Kong. Do you see where I'm going here? This is all they do. This is all they do. It's the same characters recycled over and over and over and over and over again. But yet no one seems to care about this. No one seems to talk about this. All because they make the money. They're the money makers in the industry. But then you have on the other side with PlayStation and stuff, Sony needs to bring out new IPs. We want new IPs. We want new games. We don't want to keep the same remasters over and over and over. Yet they keep bringing out new IPs and nobody seems to care about them. They keep bringing out greatness, such as what you're witnessing on your screen right now. New IP, absolute masterpiece. Yet no one seems to talk about this game. You know, the consoles, the next gen consoles that we were promised by PlayStation and Xbox, and we have yet to see Xbox make one game for this generation, pushing that Series X to its boundaries. We have yet to see that. This one game right here will wipe the floor with any game that Xbox has ever come out with. This is an absolute masterpiece. And if you own a PlayStation, and if you haven't played this game, go get yourself some 3D audio headsets Black Friday, get this game, and go sit and lock in, because this game needs your full attention. And lock in. And by the time you come out of finishing this game, you will see what I am talking about. You're going to come out of there like, what did I just witness? It's absolutely incredible. But we want new IPs, but no one wants to pay attention to them. So Sony goes back to doing remakes and remasters, and you complain about that too. So which one is it? I don't understand. Y'all need to let me know. I don't understand what it is that people want. You want nostalgia? You want new remakes? Which one is it? Which one? Because I guarantee you, any way direction that y'all pick and they decide to go that direction, you're still going to complain. Because ain't no pleasing everybody. People complain about everything, no matter what it is. Even if they get what they actually ask for, they will still find something to complain about. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now, let me show you something. This is ridiculous. I want to show you, right, the sales of the Switch. So this is the first year. I believe this was like around the year. It must have had like 2 or 3 months out by this time, right? Because it only hit 2.7. But then as we keep going, 2018, 17.7, 2019, 34.7, 2020, 55.7. We're about to enter the pandemic right here. 84.5, 107.6, 125. We're in the pandemic. 141. And here we are sitting at 143 million in total. This is crazy. Now, being that the Switch caught its stride during the pandemic, right? This is why I asked the question, will the Switch 2 surpass the PS2? Because in order for it to surpass the PS2, it will need to surpass the Nintendo Switch. And if you're looking at these numbers right here, these numbers are absolutely incredible. Is the Switch 2 going to surpass these numbers? That's a lot. Look at this. In one year, look at these numbers. This sold 125 million units in 1 year. That's a lot. Are you gonna sit here and say that it will surpass this? I'm having a hard time agreeing to that. Because now if you look at this, right? For it to surpass the PS2, it's gonna have to surpass the Switch. Meaning it's gonna have to go over that 146, and it's gonna have to start to cross over into the Nintendo DS, which is at 154. It's only 6 million out. And after that is, you actually gonna have to reach the 160. I don't see that happening. With the amount of success that the Switch had, especially during the pandemic, it still couldn't compete with the Nintendo DS. And this was back in 2004. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm having a hard time believing that. As much as Nintendo sells, I'm having a very difficult time believing that. Now, as far as them pushing the whole making a new PSP and things like that, PlayStation now has to look at other ways to make money, being that the Xbox basically waved the white flag and said it was over, and then Nintendo's over here doing whatever they want to do, because all they do is remakes and remasters. Now you think about the Nintendo Switch 2. We still don't know the specs or what's going on, but you could just picture it's not going to be no next gen type of hardware like a PS5 or a Series X or things like that. Sure, it's going to be, the Switch on another level, but it's still going to be in that Nintendo range as far as specs and things like that. So you know what's going to happen? We're going to get more remakes and more remasters. Now we're actually going to get remasters like from older games. Now they just bring out new games, right? With the same characters. But with the new Switch 2, they're actually going to make remakes and remasters. You see where I'm heading? Like, we could actually see a remake of the Zelda Ocarina of Time. We can actually see that now with the Switch 2. That's where I believe that they're gonna take the next Switch. That's what I believe is going to happen. And that's gonna be their new selling point. We're gonna bring back Ocarina of Time and all the old games from back in the day. We're gonna remake them and remaster them. That's what I believe is gonna happen. This is crazy. Now, so by him saying this, with the 100 million, like it's not gonna grow and things like that. You gotta understand, you gotta put the blame on Xbox. They completely. There's only 3 consoles, people. There's only 3 from 3 platforms. So everybody needs to be trying to push out greatness and think about the games and things like that. But Microsoft decided to think about business and money, and this is where we are. But to the point, to make my point, consoles could have easily still to this day be crossing over the 100 million. Still, after everything that I just read to you and explained to you, they still could be doing that. But these companies are taking a different direction that they didn't even need to. Microsoft made it so easy now to just cross over to PC with this whole Game Pass stuff. You're basically, destroying your own console. It's not the customers' fault, that they didn't want to buy your consoles because you're not pushing the Series X to what you told us you were going to do. It's your fault. Y'all should have ditched that Series S and say sorry, but we got to move forward. We got to move this way because we're not able to utilize the most powerful console on the planet right now. And this is what we told the people that we brought to them. So we want to actually show them what we got. Brought out, and right there, boom, brought out some incredible games. And I'm pretty sure that 30 million probably could have turned up and be at 50 million right now. But they ain't thinking like that. But we still in this generation, and I still believe that the PS5 will cross over 100 million. When the new Switch 2 comes out, it will cross over 100 million. Maybe in the low range, like this, like 102, or in the low 100 millions, but it will cross over 100 million. And so will the PS5. It will be in the low, like 100 or 101. It's gonna be on there. So they crossing over 100 million. That's a lot of sales. We can't come and sit here and make the 160 the standard. Like, we can't do that. That's a lot of sales. Now 30 million what the Series X is selling, that's not a lot. Now if Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, if we were all sitting here talking about 30 million, 40 million, 50 million, then 30 million or something like that, now we can actually have a real conversation. But since Xbox seems to be the only one sitting down there, we need to shift the blame and the focus over there. But now that don't even matter because they just finished waving the white flag. Xbox is on everything. So it's over. There's not even anything to discuss anymore. We just got word that Forza is being crossed over to PS5. It's ready to go. They just decided to delay the damn thing. But it's ready to go. Once Forza goes over there, what you gonna say? Oh, but not Halo, not Gears. What are you talking about? Forza is top 3 on Xbox. It's one of their main games. This is crazy. You got Microsoft over there being sued by the FTC. There's a lot going on. But that's a story for another day. I just wanted to make this thing clear because consoles can very well still cross over the 100 million. These companies just need to bring their A game and create great games and keep pushing forward, and consumers and customers will keep on buying. Not everybody wants to go and cross over to a PC and build PCs and things like that. That's a totally different lane. We talking about consoles, but Microsoft destroyed the console when they started just thinking about financials and money and cross over the PC. They destroyed it. So now it's over. When it comes to Xbox, at least. So that's what I had to say about that, man, because let me see if I missed anything, because I had a lot to say in this video. And And another thing that I forgot. After the Wii U came, and the Wii U completely flopped. But the luxury is that Nintendo has is that Nintendo has a core fan base. It has iconic characters. So when the Wii U came out, it came out with the PS4 around 2013. It did so bad that it made Nintendo go back into the lab 4 years later. Remember, these consoles come out on an average 6 years. 4 years later, they came up with the Nintendo Switch. They turned that thing around right away. Microsoft don't have that luxury. They thought that they had house money to play with. You're not that great yet. You finally struck gold with the 360. You need to continue on that success. What you decided to do was try to copy Nintendo, and you don't have the luxury of messing up like that because you don't have those core iconic characters yet. You don't have that core, that fan base that you spend the last 25 years building up. You don't have that at this point. So you need to keep pushing greatness and make a successor to the 360. And they decided to go a different route, and it ended everything. The gaming industry was already going in a different direction way back then. And people don't, they don't speak on that, which is crazy. So, with that being said, I feel like I covered everything in this video, man. And it's just a shame where the gaming industry is. Like, this gaming industry is it's all over the place, man. It's a mess. There's so much going on, and I don't know if it could ever recover, to be honest. Like, the gaming industry is where it is, point blank, and I don't think it can ever recover from it and just go back to being a normal, healthy competition. And it's over. It's over. And to me, in my eyes, Sony is the only one trying to keep pushing the gaming industry forward with everything that they're doing, including now the PS5 with PSSR. Look at the amazing things that console is doing, and it's the only one. But somehow you sit here and think about why Sony's the only company that gets hate out of the three. After everything I mentioned in this video. So, anyway, man, salute to everybody. I appreciate y'all. It's your boy, the gifted one here, man. And I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. I'm gone.